Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to discuss Java interview questions part 2. So in this section we are going to cover the topic wrapper classes. So mainly we will be taking the few interview questions on this topic. So here is the list of all the questions which we are going to discuss today. So the first question is, what are wrapper classes? Why do we need a wrapper classes in Java? What are the different ways of creating wrapper class instances? There are two ways. So we will look about the what are the differences in between two ways of creating the wrapper classes instance. Then what is autoboxing? What are the advantages of autoboxing? What is casting? Then what is implicit casting and explicit casting? So we are going to cover all this question in this session. So let's jump to the first question. So first question is, what are wrapper classes? As you are aware, Java is never called pure object oriented language. So why it is so? Because Java supports the 8 primitive data types like boolean, byte, char, double, float, int, long, and short. Okay, so because of this support, Java is never called pure object oriented language. But there is a facility or a feature in Java, you can say, where we can convert these primitive data type variables to in their object form or in corresponding object form. So in Java, there are 8 classes available in the java.lang package. Using that classes, we can convert this primitive type to the object form. So those classes are known as wrapper classes, which are responsible for converting primitive data type into the object form. So as shown in picture, there are 8 wrapper classes available. So for Boolean, there is a Boolean wrapper class. For byte, there is byte wrapper class. For char, there is a character wrapper class. For double, there is double. For float, there is a float. For int, there is an integer. For long, there is a long. And for short, there is a short. So all are 8 wrapper classes available in the Java, which are helpful or responsible for converting the primitive data type into the its corresponding object form. So I hope this question is clear to you and about what is wrapper classes. Okay, so let's discuss about our second question. So interviewer may ask you, why do we need those wrapper classes in Java? So as we discussed, wrapper classes mainly convert data type into the its object form. Means any primitive data type variable we can convert into the corresponding object form, right? So that is the main reason of using wrapper classes. And there are few other reasons, like there is a null is a possible value, then we can use it in the collection, right? And we can convert other uh, data types like string into integer using the wrapper classes. So let's discuss one by one. So null is possible value means using the wrapper class object, we can handle this situation. Okay, like if there is a null value assigned to the wrapper class object and we are trying to use that null object further in our class and trying to fetch the null value, so the Java will throw, compiler will throw the null pointer exception, right? So that exception is necessary because we cannot process further this null value, so that we can manage or we can handle this situation in Java program itself if there is a null value. So this is possible. Why? Because of wrapper class object. If there is a primitive data type, then we will never know if even if there is a null value, because it will never complain and when we are trying to use that null value in our Java program. So that is the one of the reason of using the wrapper class. Then it is another reason it is about the collection. As you know, collection is the least of uh, what objects or is a set of objects, but we have primitive data type. So we will be able to store that primitive data type in the collection. No, because collection is the set of objects. So what we need a wrapper class. So what the class will do, that wrapper class will convert this primitive data type into its object form, and that converted object we can add to the collection. So that is the one of the major reason of using the wrapper classes, so that we can add or we can use the primitive data type into the collections, or we can use the wrapper class object for storing the primitive data type in the collection. Another reason, it's like I told you, it's about we can convert string into the integer form just by passing the string value to its constructor. Okay, so I hope this point is clear for you, and if the interviewer asks this question, you must be able to answer these few reasons about the wrapper class, or there is a need, why there is a need of wrapper class. So let's move to the next question. So next question is about what are different ways of creating wrapper class instances. So mainly there are two ways of creating wrapper class instances. The first way, we can use the wrapper class constructor, and second way of creating the instance is using the value of static method. So in the first way, what we are doing, we are creating or we are using the constructor, and to that for creation of the instance, and to that constructor we are passing as argument our primitive value, primitive data type value. So in the first example, integer number is equal to new integer 55. That 55 is the primitive value. Okay, int, that int we are passing to the constructor, and then constructor will assign that value or convert that value into the instance form. So we will get that value at the instance number. So here are the few examples I have listed down. You can go through this and you can try in your Eclipse. You can try to create the instances using the wrapper classes constructor. Okay, so the next way of creation of wrapper class instance using the value of method. So you can see on the right hand side of this example, I am using integer dot value of method. So to that value of method, I am passing string, which is 100. That 100 value string I am passing to the value of method. It will store into the instance. Okay, then in next example, what I'm passing the binary value. Okay, 111, and second argument is 2. That means it will consider that as a binary, and that value will be converted as a 7. So that is the way of creation of wrapper class object using the value of method. So there is a difference between uh, creation of object between these two methods. So let's discuss about the main differences. So next question is like, what are the differences in the two ways of creating the wrapper class object? Okay, so different is that constructor, you will always create a new object using the constructor. While using the value of static method, it may return you the cached value within the range. For example, the cached value for long are between -128 to 127. We should prefer of using the static value of method because it may save you some memory, right? So to understand it further, I am having few implementation of value of method. So you will understand how this value of method will be helpful for saving your some memory in the Java program. So let's move to this implementation. Okay, so as you can see in the uh, implementation of value of method, so that what that implementation is doing, That implementation is taking the int value, means int primitive value, and if that int primitive value is in the range of -128 to 127, so it will not create the another object, right? It will get the value from this range. Means how it is getting, because that integer wrapper class will store these value or integer value in that range -128 to 127, or it may cache other values outside of this range too. Okay, so because of that we will be able to get the value from this cached memory. So that means we don't need to create another object, right? So using the value of method, we are getting the value from the cached memory, not from the other outside of the memory, right? So I hope this is that the differences are clear for you. Difference between uh, so it's easy for you. It's very simple to understand when we are using the constructor way of creating the instance. Okay, in that way you will have to create the object, always new object you'll have to create. Okay, for every single value. Means if you want to store 9 into the constructor way of creating the instance object, and another 9, so both times it will create both new objects. Okay, but if you are using the value of method for creating the instance of wrapper class object, in that way it will never ask you to create another object. Okay, even if you use the two instances, two references, that two references will point to the same memory location. That means you're saving your some memory. Okay, that means the value of these two instances are stored to the same memory location. Okay, when you use the value of method. So I hope this difference is clear for you, and if the interviewer asks this question, you must be able to answer why we use the value of method. So value of method basically provide you the facility where you can store the same value. If there is a same value, you can store into the same memory location. Then even if your references are two different references, that two different references will point to same memory location, and from that memory location you will fetch the value, right? That means that you don't need to create two different objects. Okay, but when you are using the constructor way of doing it, constructor way of creating the instances, there you create two different objects. Means if even if you are storing the same value, that means the two memory location will be created, right? And memory instances will be created, and you will be utilizing more memory in your program. So I hope this is clear for you. So let's move to the next question. So next question is, what is autoboxing? So autoboxing is an automatic conversion that the Java compiler makes between the primitive types and their corresponding object wrapper classes. Okay. For example, you are converting an int to integer, double to double, and so on. If the conversion goes other way, this is called unboxing. For example, when you are trying to convert integer to int, that is unboxing. And when you are converting int to integer, it is known as autoboxing. So all this happen by the Java behind the screen for us. So you don't need to worry about how it will convert. So you just need to assign primitive data type value to the corresponding wrapper class instance. So behind the screen, Java will do a lot of work for us, and it will store the value in the objects. So as I shown in the example one, you can see in example one, on right hand side, there is a primitive value 9, which is getting stored into the wrapper class instance 9c. Okay, so in second example also, what I'm doing, I am passing the primitive value 10 to the constructor of the instance, wrapper class instance integer, and then I'm trying to increment the value 10. So in front of you, it's looking like you are trying to increment the instance value or instance, but behind the screen, what you are doing, you are incrementing the value 10. Okay, so here also the auto boxing getting considered. Why? Because here the value is int value and you are assigning to the instance of integer class. Okay, and then there is object creation is happening automatically, and you then even if you are incrementing the object value or incrementing the object, that means you are incrementing the primitive value. That means if you pass 10, then you will get, after this 10 plus plus, you will get the value 11. Okay, so that is known as auto boxing. So auto boxing is easy concept. It's the same simple concept. If you Java compiler does conversion from int to integer, that is known as auto boxing, and and vice versa. Means if you are converting integer to int, that means you are doing unboxing. So what are the advantages of auto boxing? Okay, so auto boxing help us in saving memory by reusing already created wrapper objects. So as I discussed a lot about the value of method, static value of method. So because of static value of method, you can save some memory in your Java program. So if you are trying to create the object using the value of method, you will not create another memory location, because it will point to the same memory location if the value is same. Okay, but in case of uh, constructor way of creating a wrapper class instance, there you can see an example. Even if you if we are storing the same value, primitive value 9, so it will be stored in the instance 9a, and another 9a 9 primitive value 9 will be stored in the 9b. So there will be two different objects will be created. So that's why in the output, if you use the equal operator, you will find that both objects are not equal. Okay, as per reference, because both are pointing to the different memory location. The same value 9 value, it's getting stored to the two different locations. That's why when we are trying to compare using the equal operator, okay, that means it will give you the false. Okay, even if the contents are equal or contents are same. And in the next example, you can see uh, using the auto boxing, we are uh, we are storing the value 9, primitive value 9 to the 9c, and primitive value 9 to the 9d. So you have to remember one thing: when we use auto boxing, the value of method will be by default called, even if you are not using the constructor class for creation. So behind the screen, the value of method will be called and the object creation will happen over there. And when the object creation happens using the value of method, you that time you will not need to create another object for the same value. Even if your references are different, or means like there is a 9c and 9d, there are two references, but it will point to the same memory location. That means if you try to compare both these instances 9c or 9d, you will get that value true, because both are pointing to the same memory location. Okay, and their value is also same, so you will get value is a true. Okay, in the output, in the system.out.println. So I hope that advantage is clear for you. So these are few advantages of auto boxing. Okay, so I hope it is clear for you. So let's move to the next question. So next question is, what is casting? So casting is used when we want to convert data type to another data type, or to yes, to another data type. So there are two types of casting: implicit casting and explicit casting. So interviewer may ask you what is implicit casting and what is explicit casting. So implicit casting is done by the compiler. Okay, good example of implicit casting all are the automatic widening conversion, that is stronger storing smaller values in the larger variable types. For example, you can see in the example there is an int value, okay, which I'm trying to store in the long data type variable, which is number. So here you don't need to worry about the conversion, right? You can easily store the smaller range of values to the larger range of variables or data type variables. Okay, so that's why we call it as a implicit casting. But in case of explicit casting, you can see an example. What is when we need is explicit casting, when we are trying to store the larger value, a larger range of data type into the smaller range of data type. For example, there is a long value, long number one, you are trying to store in the int number two. Okay, in this situation you will need explicit casting. Explicit casting means you'll have to handle this using the code. That's why it's known as explicit casting. So in example, I have casted the number one using the int. Okay, and what will happen if you don't cast? So Java compiler will throw you compiler error. So I have commented that code like int x is equal to 35.55. So will it run? No, it will not run. It will give you compiler error. Why? Because 35.35 it's the float value, and float is the larger value. Okay, and int x is the smaller value. So that means you are trying to store larger value into the smaller data type value. Okay, so you'll have to cast it. So if you cast it properly using the int, then you can store it in the it int variable. Okay, so that is known as explicit casting. So explicit casting would cause the truncation of value if the value store is greater than the size of the variable. Okay. For example, here what I'm trying to do here is a int big value is equal to 280. Okay, and that int value I'm trying to store into the byte, which is small. So byte range is always smaller than the int data type range. So according to the byte range, we will get the value at the output. So that's why we will get at the output only 24. Only the 8 byte remains out of the 20 out of it. Means what's happening here? You are trying to store 280 integer big value, and at the output after the conversion to the byte, you will get the value small. So you are getting here the value is 24 at the output. So it's happening because there is a truncation. There is a possibility of truncation of the value if the value stored is greater than the size of the variable. Okay, so I hope that casting concept is clear to you. The casting basically is very simple. There are two ways of implicit casting and explicit casting. Implicit casting is done by the Java compiler, means when you are storing the lower range of value to the higher range of value, the Java compiler will taken care of it. You don't need to do anything explicitly. But when you are trying to do the larger format of data type to the lower format of data type, means lower range of data type, that time you'll have to cast it explicitly in your code through the code. That's why it's known as explicit casting. And if you don't cast properly, then it will throw you the compilation error. And this is not recommended uh, use of explicit casting because it will cause the truncation of the values. So, so that is the end of this session. I hope you understood all the concept which I discussed with you, all the interview questions, and best of luck for your interview. Whenever the interviewer asks you this question, you will be able to answer after watching this video. Thank you so much. Stay in tune. In the next question, we will discuss, next part, we will discuss about the string concept, which is mostly asked and most important from the Java interviews point of view. Okay, thank you and stay in tune till the next time. Bye bye.